You are now entering the box. All right, welcome back to Inside the Box. Today we have Taylor Stevens with us. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So Taylor, you work at Synergy Home Health?
HomeCare.
HomeCare.
Yep.
Yeah. What exactly do you do over there?
So what we do is we hire caregivers to come into the home and help people stay independent no matter where they call home by providing non-medical services.
You got that down.
I've only been doing it for a little while.
How long you been with them?
Just a little over 3 years.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So what are your responsibilities over there?
A whole lot.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
As a client care manager, I do a lot of the outside work. So there for a while, I was doing a lot of the marketing and educating the public on what we do. And then I was also the person that would go into the home of somebody who was looking into home care services and have that conversation with them about what exactly home care is, and then set them up with a customized plan of care, a customized schedule, and get it all set up. And then I'd bring it back to the office with my team, and I would help out with the scheduling side of it, and we'd get them all set up with care. And then my role is also to kind of look over that and make sure that our clients are getting that good quality care.
Nice. How long have you been doing that for?
Just over 3 years. So we opened the Springfield office at the end of 2019, and really? I joined with them in January of 2020.
Okay. I didn't realize it had only been open since 19.
Well, our franchise opened up in Bloomington in 2013, expanded over to Champaign in 2015, Decatur 2017, and Springfield 2019. So maybe you had heard of it from a different location, but here in Springfield, we opened up just at the end of 2019.
Wow. So it's a franchise though?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Founded out of Arizona.
Wow, so these things are nationwide. I had no idea.
We're all over the place, and I like to brag because we are number one in the United States. So
really?
What we're doing is working.
Wow. Just for does that mean how do they judge that?
So it goes off of, our care, the number of hours, how big we are, how we're growing. There's a lot of different things that go into it, but ultimately what we're doing and the things that we've put in place is working, and we're growing at a rapid rate. We're opening a remote location in Lincoln. Currently, we're in the process of that to help provide better care there.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah, I had a general idea, what that did. What's your typical person that you're helping? Is it usually older people or injured people or a little bit of both? Or?
Sure. So, ideally our clients are seniors, but we serve all ages. It could be maybe a mom who just gave birth that is needing help with either their child or themselves during the recovery process, or maybe a high school student who's suffering from an injury and is needing care, or maybe somebody with a disability, or your typical senior. Really, the goal is just to help people stay independent safely, create as much normalcy as possible, and help them stay where they call home.
Nice. Yeah, my dad, he fought cancer for quite a while, and there was a point where I actually left work to help him. So I assume that would be a situation where it could have been.
Absolutely. Yeah. We kind of call that a sandwich generation because that's that middle group. You're trying to take care of you and yours. You're trying to be at work and be the best employee, but you're also trying to take care of mom and dad or whatnot. And now you're stuck in the middle. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're able to come in and help relieve that. So when you go to the home, you're able to be a loved one and not a caregiver, because that can cause a lot of what we call burnout. And we don't ever want somebody to have maybe a little unknown resentment towards a loved one just because they're tired and they're exhausted and they're pulling in all different directions.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was exhausting. I was fortunate enough to be able to leave work to go do that and not feel that. For me, it was more all right, I'm just going to get as much time with them as I could. But he wasn't really there. He was kind of, at that point, he was on a downhill slant.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, yeah,
I know that's a tough situation, and that's, again, where Synergy is really great because I fully believe in what we do, and I think that we become an extension of family. So not only do we walk the client through those stages, we help walk the family through those stages, whether that be end of life or maybe just through a recovery period or whatnot. A lot of what we do is family oriented.
Yeah.
You know, I want people to trust me and my staff to be able to call and be like, I'm just having a really hard day. Can I talk to you? And, you know, we kind of help them through that because it's hard. It's mentally exhausting, and nobody anticipates needing home care. Nobody understands those. It's all trial and error. So being able to talk with somebody who not only knows what they're doing per se, but also understands is such a huge asset to have.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a great service, man. There's definitely things I didn't like doing. So
Absolutely.
as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes.
Is that something that like insurance will typically help with, depending on the situation, probably? But
so unfortunately, private insurance typically does not cover home care services. Like I said, I've been with Synergy a little over 3 years, and I've seen, I think, 2 insurance policies that have a specific clause in it that states that they will reimburse for home care services. It's very rare. Other than that, it is private pay, or we take long-term care. That's also kind of a dying out thing. A lot of insurance agencies, instead of that long-term care policy, you're able to cash in some of your life insurance to use for home care services. So they're being a little bit more lenient with how you're able to use those funds. And that's always a conversation I'm willing to have with somebody who maybe doesn't understand that side of it. I can kind of help guide them through it.
Interesting. Okay.
And we work with veterans as well. So we are VA approved, and we can help those that made a sacrifice for us. We can help them stay home.
That's awesome. Veterans, man, gotta support those.
Absolutely.
I've made a point, like every time I see somebody that serves now, I like a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, every time I see somebody, I'm thanking them for their service.
Yeah, little goes a long way.
Yeah, I had never like had like a really close friend that like deployed or anything like that, and I just had one deploy, and I was like, man, that was emotional. That was like the first time I ever had like a close friend deploy. Yeah, so you said you did some helping educate people and some marketing stuff. What kind of marketing stuff did you do or do you do?
So that's kind of a fun topic because when we started out, it was January 2020. So here I am going into this new role, never been marketing, never been healthcare, and I'm starting this brand new thing. I get all trained and I'm like, all right, let's go. 3 months in, the world shuts down.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, now I have to get the word out about this new healthcare, not just healthcare, but we're going into the home during a pandemic.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? So everything that I learned, I'm like, well, I'm going to throw this out the window. And that's when I started thinking outside the box, not inside the box, outside the box about what I can do, not just to educate people and let people know about what we do, but to bring smiles to those that are stuck indoors, because that was a very hard time for a lot of people, not being able to see friends, family, anything like that. So I did things like I went to some facilities and I wrote on the sidewalks outside. I did window paint. I organized a holiday parade to where a lot of my referral partners and I gathered up, and we went from Rochester all the across Springfield over through Chatham and Auburn, and went through and honked and waved, and we played music.
Nice.
Really just to provide smiles. I did bingo over Zoom. I actually, one Valentine's Day, it was freezing, so cold, snowing, and I got some Valentine's Day props, and I took them to the front door, and they took them inside and sanitized them, and then brought their residents up to the window, and I took their picture from the other side.
Nice.
So although my hands, I thought, were going to fall off and they were freezing, my heart was so warm because it was... that little bit went such a long way for them, for somebody who's stuck inside a room with nothing, and it helped them smile and be happy. So I did a lot of outside the box things to try and get Synergy's name out there, but also have that mixed effect of bringing smiles. And then on top of that, I just really went full force in the community with all sorts of volunteering to try and get my name and Synergy's name out there and let them know, hey, we're new here. We're here to help. This is what we do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool coming up with some of those unique things. It was a weird time, so.
Yeah, I definitely did not anticipate that.
Yeah, we had to, it was like a scramble, like one, figuring out how we were going to work, and then two, like, all right, how do we pivot our clients marketing to help this, help them still stay busy.
Yeah.
Luckily we ended up being pretty successful with that. And a lot of our clients actually had like record breaking sales and stuff at that point from proper pivoting. Right. But
you really had to think about it. A lot of the world turned towards social media. So I think a lot of people turned there. But there was an unfortunate lot of businesses that didn't make it through, or maybe went rock bottom there for a while and they're coming back up. But it was a very unfortunate time.
Yeah. Sad to see, man. Weird times.
Absolutely.
Especially just starting a new job.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they got you trained, and then all that hit. You're like, all right, I got to put all that training on the back burner here.
Yeah, I got to think of something new. So luckily I had a little bit of creativity inside of me that I didn't know. And, it panned out, and it really helped that I had a lot of passion towards what I was doing. If it was just a job, I think it would have been very hard for me to stand still and where I was at. And we're like, okay, we're going to do this. But because I believe and I care about what I do, it was easier for me to get out there and do those things and freeze outside doing those activities because I care so much about it. And kind of a backstory for you, when I was little, I grew up out of Divernon, which is just a really small town about 20, 30 minutes south of here. And when I was little, I would ride my bike around town, and I would go door to door to typically elderly homes. And I'd knock on the door and I'm like, hi, like, does anybody need any help? Do you want me to do some housekeeping, walk your dog, yada, yada. And that's what I did. Instead of riding my bike to the park and go hang out with friends and swing and do those things, I was at the houses of the elderly, hanging out with them and looking through photo albums. So it was kind of cool when Synergy came here. Nice yeah, I mean, it made me happy. So when Synergy came here, was it
mostly people you knew, or just new random people?
No, random people. I mean, one of the ladies I helped.
Because Vernon's not very big, right?
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah. I'm sure they knew who I was, but I was like 10, 11 years old. I don't really know these people.
Yeah.
And I remember coming home and telling my mom that I invited we're going to call her Sally for HIPAA reasons. But I invited Sally to my birthday party. And she's like, who is Sally? I'm like, oh, the lady down the road. She's about 85 and she's got Alzheimer's, but she's coming.
Yeah, if she remembers.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just kind of cool. I felt like life came full circle when Synergy was presented to me, because I wasn't looking for a job. Somebody brought it up to me.
Nice.
So I was like, I'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
And by the end of that conversation, I was like, oh my gosh, like life is coming full circle. Like this is what I love to do, to be able to help and be an advocate for people and make them happy. But now I'm going to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
So, sign me up.
What do you think as a child compelled you to like go do things like that?
I don't know. All I can really think is that growing up, my mom instilled in us, and I do it to my daughter as well, you be kind. No matter what, you be kind to people, because you don't know what they're going through.
That all the time. Yeah. Kids, be kind.
And you say it, but it's true. Like maybe if somebody's acting a certain way, maybe they're dealing with a lot on their side of the table. Maybe they go home to something that you have no idea. So be kind to them, because that might be the only piece of kindness that they get that day, that week, and that could really change somebody's life. So because I was instilled into my brain at such a young age, I think it just became a large part of who I am, is being able to think about not just how it made me feel, but maybe about how they were feeling. And in that same way, kind of like the elderly, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know about how hard it might be just to get up in the morning, those little things, and being able to provide just that little bit of either assistance or companionship really can really make somebody's life better.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think about, I lost my train of thought there.
I do that a lot.
Something you said triggered something in my mind. I was going to say, I can't think of it. Dang it, I lost it. But no, my wife says that to our kids all the time, though. Be kind. And it makes you like, and I think about that, like how do we, instill that in them? And
influence.
Yeah.
It's
take them to, I guess, go do things, maybe take them to go do stuff like that, or
yeah, my daughter
them
goes,
to do that.
Yeah, she goes all over with me. I fully believe that leadership, whether it's parenting, a title, whatever it is, it stems from influence and not just words. Because if I tell her, you need to be kind, and then I go and she watches me treat someone wrong, she's be like, well, why did you say that? Like, if you don't do that, that doesn't make sense.
Why'd you just cuss that person out, Mom?
I'm like, and she knows that. She comes with me to do a lot of these things with my clients or my community involvement. She comes to do that because she gets to learn from a young age how important it is, those little parts of life, those values. She gets to see it, do it, and then, I believe it'll set her up for success along the way. I'm just kind of trying to pave the way for her.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it stems from influence, and you have to show somebody in order for them to follow, because somebody's not going to follow you because
lead by example.
Yeah, not well. My mom said, but
even though she didn't do it, she told me to. So I guess
so
I
have
will.
to. And I mean, she's on a radio commercial with me, and I say,
cool.
"What's mommy's number one rule?" And she says, "To be kind." And you ask her why, and she said, "Because you never know what somebody's going through."
Yeah.
And after.
Cute.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
After several parent-teacher conferences, I've seen that it works. And character is who you are when mom, dad, whoever isn't looking. And I have words from teachers and people that have just seen her act out as who she is, that it works.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Very proud.
I remembered what it is, but real quick, Ryan, will you text somebody out there and ask them to bring me one of those coffees in my office? Sorry. No, I remember what I was thinking. I was thinking about how one thing I tried to start doing is I found that I would think I'd meet somebody, or I'd talk to somebody at the cash register or whatever, and I'd think something positive, or oh, that's a nice shirt, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say it for some reason. I don't know why. There was a lot of times I just never did. And I one thing I've tried to do over the last few months is just make a point to just say that, or speak your mind to someone if it's not as positive, obviously. And one time I was going through a checkout, and this lady was like, "How are you doing today?" And I was just like, "I was doing, I'm doing good. How about yourself?" And she's like, "Oh, not good. It's just it was a holiday or something." She's like, "There's a lot of people died on this day," or something like that. And at the time, I kind of thought something and didn't say it, and then I left to go to another store and make another stop. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back through there. And I went back, and I went through, and I said some kind of positive thing to her, just along the lines of, my father passed away, and one thing that always helped me, and you know what I mean? And she's like, I really appreciate that. That made my day. And I was like, oh, that made me feel so good. I'm glad I came back and said something.
And I hope, you changed her life forever, and she will forever remember that moment. So,
but it's weird that I don't know why I never would do it before, I guess, you know what I mean? Or even my wife, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, thank you. I don't know why I never would do it before, even with my wife sometimes, you know what I mean? I think she looks pretty or whatever, and it's, I just, for some reason or another, I just don't say it when it goes through my mind. I'm try to make a point to get those positive thoughts out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's so important. It's those little things that really go such a long way. And to piggyback off what you're saying, I had a client before that was on hospice services, and I took my daughter in there, and she knew, but my daughter knew that she was kind of on her last week or so, and she went home and she colored pictures for her and brought them back. And this client hung them up on her mirror, so she looked at them every day because that's what she could see from her bed. And it was one of those things that give her that little extra hope. And, I told my daughter, you forever changed her life. And that is one of the best things that you can give to somebody, is to change somebody's life in a positive way. So, and same goes to you for that lady who was going through a hard time. That could have been her saving grace, and you have no idea. No. So you should take that and be very proud of yourself.
So those little things, yes. Man, can make a big difference. Oh my God, I feel like we should just cancel and go do something.
We might as well.
Feel all amped up now. No, that's awesome though. That's cool. You're doing that stuff with your daughter, and she gets to see that.
Absolutely.
You just have the one kid?
Yep.
Nice.
Just a 6-year-old daughter, 6 going on 30.
6 years old. Jeez.
And I know everybody says that, but she's truly an old soul. And I learn from her every day. She'll say some things and I'm like,
Where'd you even come?
what?
Yeah.
Like, but you're right. Like, we should do that.
Yeah. My son is, we have 3 and under. So it's pretty intense.
Oh, wow.
But he'll be 4 soon.
Right.
So, but
got
yeah,
a lot going on.
Yeah. So, so I hear crazy stuff, from him all the time. Like, so crazy the stuff they come up with.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you laugh a lot.
Yeah. No, it's great.
And cry.
Try to not get mad.
Right. It's a learning curve. Nobody gives you a handbook for parenting, and you just do your best and cross your fingers and go with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different having all them kids. It's nothing better though,
Mm-hmm.
Gives you something to work for. You've had a lot going on lately though. You just won the President's Award, is that correct?
Yes, I
From
did.
the Chamber?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your involvement with the Chamber?
So I've been a chamber member for about 3 years, and I was a team captain with them to start out. And then the last 2 years, I've been a team captain with the chamber. So I have a smaller team that I lead, and I try to make sure I go to all the ribbon cuttings, make sure I support our businesses here.
Is that different than an ambassador, or what's the...
No, I mean, I'm still an ambassador. I just take a leadership role in that ambassador program.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then last year, all of us captains met and we decided that we wanted to do more. We wanted to create something that would really help the community in a different way. So we decided to make a subcommittee called Ambassador Cares, and we're like, okay, we're going to find a public event, something that's really going to help. And they asked me if I would take lead on it. So of course I said yes, because I'm a yes girl. And I took it, and we decided to do a professional clothing drive. So that's what we did.
Professional clothing? So for like work clothes, essentially?
Yep. And it kind of tied together with the chamber, because what the chamber does is becomes an advocate for our businesses in the community and helps them grow, whether that be staffing or get their name out or support them, whatever it may be. So what better than a professional clothing drive during what seemed like everybody was having staffing problems?
Interesting.
So we asked the community to donate their professional clothing that maybe they had hidden away, and we were going to do a free clothing drive, really to help those people that maybe wanted to get out there but didn't feel confident in the clothing that they had, or maybe they were going through a hard time and they weren't able to afford professional clothing, because we all know that's expensive. So that's what we did. And we had this professional clothing drive at All-in-One Laundry, owned by Robert and Pam Fraser. And
Nice.
It was huge. I can't tell you the amount of clothes that we had, but it was bins on bins on bins. Nobody anticipated this being this huge. And at a laundromat, they have their bins. And I mean, they're huge bins.
How'd you guys promote that?
So Greg Bishop, Rocky, Jim Leach, WMAY really helped me out with that.
Nice.
They let me go on there, and we talked about it and helped promote it on there. Facebook, again, like I said, social media became such a huge thing for advertising and promotion.
What year was this that you did this?
Last year.
Okay.
And we put it on there, put flyers out, really just word of mouth after that. And when we asked the community to deliver, they over-delivered. I'm telling you what, if I saw one more hanger by the end of that day, I was going to have a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And we helped so many people. Some people were crying because they were so grateful. They couldn't believe it.
Did the people then that needed the stuff come there also, or how did you distribute it? Okay.
Yeah. So we had racks, and we had tents that we hung up all the clothes on, tables we put them out. And there was a lot of help and volunteers that went into folding mountains of clothes. We helped so many people.
Takes a long time just for us to fold our... my wife fold our clothes. She takes over that duty for me. But
hey, me too. It's fine. But it was this huge event that nobody anticipated being that big. And so Mike Murphy, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce this year, during the gala, presented the President's Award, which is given to somebody who maybe went above and beyond or put in a lot of time and effort into a certain program that really benefited the community. And he picked me this year for that specific clothing drive and for all the help that I do in the community. And I had no idea. I couldn't believe it, honestly.
That's great. Caught off guard at the gala. That's awesome.
I mean, I was sitting there being me, so I was probably like fidgeting around a little bit. And then when I started to realize, I'm like, I think he's talking to me, like about me. And I turned around and looked at my coworker. I'm like, I think it's me. And once I realized that he was talking about me, I think I blacked
like doing
out.
a build up.
Yeah.
Like she did this and this and this. Yeah.
And then I blacked out. I started
cool.
shaking, and I was like, oh my God, and I got to walk up here. There's like 700 people in this room. And that was that.
Nice.
Then it was kind of a blur, but I am so proud.
Don't even have a
that.
speech prepared.
No. And luckily I didn't have to do one. I think I don't even know what I would have said. Maybe
Thank you.
cried and been like, all right. So thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you guys come up with the? I don't think I missed it in there. Sorry if I did. How did you come up with the idea of doing a professional clothing drive? Like what?
So we all were just throwing out ideas of what we could do. You know, there were some that was going on about landscaping or helping make curbside look better. So many different ideas, all great ideas. But we wanted to find something that was going to tie together the mission of the chamber and benefit the community. And we thought, what better way to do that than the professional clothing drive?
Nice.
Because you tie together being an advocate for businesses, and we want to see them succeed. And for that, you need staff. You need reliable staff that's going to walk in, feel confident in what they're doing, and do the best that they can.
Interesting idea. Professional clothing drive.
Yeah, and there was
Not
a
just a
lot
clothing
of nice
drive.
clothes.
Yeah, that's cool.
There was a lot of nice clothes. Tags on it. There were suits. We had buckets of ties. The shoes were shiny. They weren't scuffed up. I mean, it was a lot of really nice clothes. So we will do it again this year. Details to follow a little bit sooner or later in the year because we haven't gotten that far into it. But our young professional networking group, RISE, stemmed off of the chamber, will be taking that over. So I think it'll be even better than last year.
Nice. It's cool. Yeah. Never had anybody heard of that before? Or was it just literally came up like?
I think other places have done it before. I wasn't involved in it, so I can't say how successful it was.
If somebody was like, I saw someone do this once, you know what I mean? It's just in my head. I'm like, that's a pretty good idea to come up with randomly.
Yeah. No, it worked out really well. People even there were asking, so when are you going to do this again? And I actually got a phone call last week, and they're like, is this Taylor Stevens? I'm like, yeah, like why? And they were like, well, I was thinking about this, and they were asking me about the clothing drive, and they're like, are you still taking donations? And I had to, let them know not for a while, but I still get phone calls to this day about that event.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very neat. Well, that's nice you were recognized for kind of spearheading that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't anticipate an award out of that. That was not my intention at all. It was really just to give back and to help, but it was nice being able to get a thank you like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the best because, I hate awards that you, basically have to market yourself to win. You know what I mean? Where you're, trying to win yourself.
Yeah.
I'm I don't really care about winning an award unless, you just get it randomly, oh, I didn't even know I did that or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, I'm I'm not just going to sit and market myself to win something like the voting type stuff.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
awkward.
Where it's like, vote for me, for this.
This is why.
Yeah. So no, that's super cool. Well, you mentioned starting RISE. So that's a subgroup of the chamber, or is that separate?
Yes.
Or?
So we are working with the chamber. Bailey Zoomer and Nick Gentile were the co-founders of this, and they were talking with Mike Murphy about a young professional networking group. And I know that Mike, this was one of the things on his list when he took this position, was to get the young professionals, us, involved in the community. So it was when it happened, it was well, perfect. This was on my list anyway. And then they reached out to some of us to be on the committee for that, and I'm one of those on the committee helping get this going and whatnot. So it's new. We had our first event this month, and it was, again, huge. I mean, you could not fit more people in that room. We all were nose to nose. It was so loud. The people were overflowing outside. It was such a success. And I remember all of us sitting during our meetings. We're like, well, if we all bring 5 people, there'll be about 30 people and it'll be great. And we can go from there. And the day of the event, they're like, guys, we have like 117 RSVPs. Wow. And we're like, what are we going to do? But it was
bring your 5 people.
Yeah. Kick them back out. No, but it was really nice to see so many like-minded young professionals looking to get involved because as you all know, staffing was hard. Getting people involved was hard. So now seeing them come back out, it's been great.
Were most of them part of the chamber already?
No, some of their employers are chamber members, and I think we would like to
encourage the younger people in there to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But everybody I talked to, I didn't have anybody that was like, yeah, my employer made me be here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, they wanted to be. Yeah.
So it was nice that they were like, I'm so excited. Like, how can I get involved? There was nothing better than hearing that so many times. I do think I went to bed that night just like thinking over and over in my head, hi, I'm Taylor. Hi, I'm Taylor. So that was kind of funny. But it was nice to see so many people excited about what's to come.
Yeah. So how's that work then? If someone's a member of the chamber, is that like a separate thing they have to join, or is that included in the chamber membership? How's that work?
So right now there's not a fee to be a part of RISE. We would get you signed up and whatnot. We would like to see more chamber members bring in their young people in and get them involved. Right now, we're opening the doors to everybody. The whole point is to get people involved. And maybe some of these younger professionals aren't set in their career path yet. Maybe they're just starting out and they're trying to get involved and they don't have that yet. So that's why we want to bring it open to everybody right now because some people aren't set yet.
Yeah, that's good. Is there, I know you say young professionals, is there like put like an age cap on that thing, or how's that work?
We're not going to ID
60-year-old in there,
right?
I feel young. I'm here, baby.
Exactly. We're not going to ID. If you come to the door and you're older, we're not going to be like, you gotta go. But I think we would like to see 40 and under. But if you're 60 and you're young at heart, I would love to have you, and I would love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So where was the first event at?
Home Plate.
Nice.
Yep, in their little outdoor patio section there. So if you've been there, it's a good sized room, but it was packed. Overflowing out.
Oh, I guess I saw a picture actually. Now you say that. Yeah, it was packed.
Yeah,
it looked packed at least.
I think that it's just going to get bigger, and I think by the end of the year, it's going to be huge. I truly believe that RISE is going to be one of the next big things here in Springfield.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Do you guys have like another event planned yet, or what's
we do? It's in March, and I want to say it's March 16th, but I am not 100%. You'd have to go to the chamber website. We have a Facebook page, and on LinkedIn, you can look up RISE Springfield. You can see all of the events on there as well. We do some morning events, some after, some education, networking. The whole point is get people involved and help you reach your highest potential.
Nice. Do you know where the next one's at yet, or to BD?
I do. No, it's on there. Just off the top of my head, I do not know the location. I should know that. I really should. I should have looked at it before I came in here. Yeah.
Ryan's going to tell us. Oh, man, he's supposed to be on it over here.
Gosh, I have so many hats to wear. I dropped the ball.
No, that's cool, though. So what do you think, I guess, with the RISE, do you think, why do you think there's such a big turnout? You think there's just so many young people that are afraid of I know when I first started this business and I was going, and I'm like a extrovert, I'm not afraid to talk to people, but still like going to a chamber event when I was, 7 years ago, what would I have been? 29, 30, still an adult, obviously, but still was kind of intimidating to go out to this event, not really, to chamber events, not really know what's going on. And I know even business owners I know now that are small businesses are some of them are intimidated to go to these networking things and like you don't know anybody. Do you think that's what it is? Like why it was so successful?
So I think that there's been a lot of young people that are really coming out of their shell and really want to find like-minded people, and they want to find their highest potential. And as a young professional, I believe you become who you surround yourself with. And when you surround yourself, if you want to be successful and you want to do good things and help and, change the community or the world or whatever your dream may be, you need to surround yourself with people who not only believe in you and support you, but also want to help. So I think that there's a lot of people that want to do those things, and they're starting to see that getting out and getting involved really is changing.
Yeah. Seems like, I don't know if it's like social media or like, it seems like with a lot of like younger people too, it seems like there's starting to be a little bit of a turn to the whole like being an entrepreneur thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It seems like there's maybe more people looking that knowing that that's an option. Maybe the awareness is more out there than it used to be.
Right. Maybe that's a generation thing, and they want to be their own boss. I'm not 100% as to why. I think, again, it comes down to influence and getting young professionals and even olders involved in what we're doing and finding that influence and helping guide the way, I think is going to go a long way with this group.
Yeah, I think that'll be big, given something people, just to feel a little bit more comfortable. Mm-hmm. They're not surrounded by
Papo's Cafe.
Papo's?
March 15th.
March 15th.
Oh, I was one day off. Dang it.
Jeez, what time is it at?
It's a morning one, isn't it?
8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.
8:30 to 10 a.m. March 15th. Papo's.
Right by my work. So
Where's your guys' place at?
We're off of Cokie Mill in Isles, right next door to Corner Pub. In that strip there.
Oh yeah. I know where you're at.
What a blessing and a curse. I sure spent a lot of money over there.
Did you see that? Did you get your guys' windows? Nothing happened. Did you see Vele's windows all got shattered? Somebody shattered like all their windows the other night.
Like last week.
The front?
I don't even think it was last week. I think it was like a few days ago, like this last weekend maybe. Yeah, they shattered the front window, the doors, and then went around back, pulled wine bottles out of the trash, shattered them all over the parking lot, and stole something out of somebody's car.
Wow.
And I was like, Jesus. I was like, I feel like someone like
That
seems
sounds
like
a disgruntled employee
type situation. But
wow.
Yeah, I was like, geez, that's crazy. Especially if they didn't do anything to anyone else. I don't know what time it was at. They just posted pictures, so I was just curious.
I'm gonna have to look. No, I guess I need to be a little bit more observant because I did not notice that at all. But
I assume they got it fixed pretty quick so they could, be open or whatever.
Right.
What did you say?
Next day they were fixed.
Yeah. Did you see? Do you know what day it was?
4 days ago.
4 days ago. Okay.
What was 4 days ago? My days run in
Saturday?
cursive.
What is this, Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Yeah,
Wow.
so probably Saturday night. Yeah, asshole move, buddy. Whoever did that.
That really sucks. Wow. No, I didn't see that.
I'm sure it was the middle of the night or something. Corner was probably closed.
I would think because the corner's open pretty late, isn't it? 1 or 2?
I would imagine, yeah. It's been a while since I've been there that late. Don't get to stay out late these days that much.
You know what? It's not that fun. What do they say? It's nothing good happens after what time?
There's
is
a
it
song, is it?
1?
Isn't there a song though? What is it? Nothing good happens after. There's some sort of song that I just listened to. So there's a country song, right? Anyway, derail. How about with how do you feel? And this is completely nothing to do with business, but how do you feel about social media and your kid? Like, when does that? Like, do you let your daughter like use your phone and do stuff on your phone, stuff like that?
Like Facebook?
Yeah, like I'm just curious from a parent's perspective.
Heck no. I post some stuff on there about her because I have family and friends on there that I like to keep involved. But no, I don't let her on TikTok or Facebook. I let her get on kids' YouTube. But I feel like this day and age, you really have to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying being overbearing and whatnot, because I feel like that will guide them in a different way.
Yeah.
Again, there's no handbook for this.
I know.
So everybody
So scary.
to each their own. I'm probably might get some backlash for this conversation. But as for me, I do not believe that my 6-year-old needs to be on Facebook nor TikTok on there scrolling around, because you don't know who's on those sites for mixed intentions.
Yeah.
And, there's been some stuff even on YouTube.
Even on kids' YouTube stuff slips through sometimes.
And
I
I
hear.
will hear it and I'm like, what are you watching? And, maybe it is an adult playing with toys or slime or something, and just the little innuendos or the way that they're going about it. I'm like, no. So we're gonna not.
Somebody was watching one and they were making, I don't remember who it was. I was in the room though. It wasn't my kids because they're way too young, but I was in the room with somebody's kids, and they were watching a video, and they were making the Barbies like do it, like mom and dad. And I was like, and my friend like looked at me and they're like, what are you watching?
Oh my gosh!
I was
Oh
like,
no!
Damn, what is going on here?
I hope you press the report button.
It's so crazy, but it's tough because obviously, we're a social media marketing company, and I do think overall social media is a great thing, but there's just so many things that like personally, and from a marketing standpoint, it's probably stupid that I say this, but I don't think any kids should be even allowed to be on social media until they're 18. Like no social media. I know with my kids, I say that, obviously who knows what happens when the time comes, but that's what I say. I'm like, I don't want kids on social media until they're like 18. It's just a lot, you know what I mean? And all the like Instagram and especially with women and like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a hard conversation. And truly there's no right or wrong answer. I think it depends on your situation. With my daughter, I think part of her being such an old soul is obviously I filter how I say things, but I don't lie to her.
Yeah.
I have conversations with her because I think it's important that she is smart and she is aware of her surroundings, and she doesn't think that life is one big Candyland, and there's not bad things out there. And her dad and I agree with that. So she understands that there is bad people out there, but there's a lot of good too. But I think it's important to teach them that it's not wonderful sunshine and rainbow, and just making them aware. I think there's a difference between handing them a phone and just be like, have at it, kid, and teaching them the rights and the wrongs. So I think that it just really depends on the situation and whatnot. With that being said, I mean, my daughter has an iPad because her dad and I have different homes. And, when she's over there, I miss her, and I want her to be able to have access. If she needs mom, if something's wrong, I want her to be able to call me. Yeah. So at 6 years old, she has an iPad and she can call mom. She can call grandma. But again, it's about being smart in the way you do it. She knows you're not to call and text random people. This is for safety use. So I think it just goes down to the rules and how you go about it.
Yeah, it's so tough because you want them to be familiar with the technology, but I mean, especially here, I want my kids to work here someday. It's you gotta get them involved, but at the same time, it's
yeah, I think it's just a very fine line, and you want them to be aware, you want to teach them, but that goes with the good and the bad. So
have you seen how over in China, their TikTok for kids is very different. It's all educational and history stuff and all this, and then all social media over there for kids cuts off at what is it, 8 p.m. and it's so it's very regulated, on what they show what they show kids. And I'm like, man, that's interesting. If that was the case, I'd be all for it. If they're only getting educational stuff, that's great. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be great if it could be realistic. If there wasn't going to be somebody that hacks in there and throws in some stuff, or
over in China, they'll just kill you if you do that. Take your ass out.
Oh,
government's got control over there.
No comment.
Yeah, no, I know but that is the problem. Yeah, there's always a bad seed that ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find that anywhere you go, any place of employment, anywhere. There's always a bad apple running around somewhere.
That's what I always tell people here. I'm like, don't be the person that ruins this for everybody. Okay, we try to
Literally.
be laxed on this, but
Yep. I agree with that.
So what else is happening? Anything else exciting going on? You got you got your job you've been at for what now? 3 years?
Yep. A little over 3 years. Yep.
Good, doing a lot at the chamber. Mm-hmm. Started the RISE. Got the President's Award.
I did.
Got some momentum going here.
Yeah. I received the 40 under 40
Nice.
last year, so that was cool. And I was one of the nominees for the Athena Award, which was really cool.
What's that?
It's kind of like the Woman of the Year award, and there was 9 of us nominated, and then one won that.
Is that through somebody specific or?
Illinois Women in Leadership.
Oh, okay.
So that was really cool. Just being able to be with 9 other strong females in this community that are really striving to make a difference for other people, and really going hard at it was really nice to be in that group.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Getting some recognition.
Absolutely. Just
I need a better PR person. No,
I think this year is going to be really great. I don't have anything right now that I'm like, this is exactly what I'm working on.
Yeah.
But I think that 2021, 2022, they were all a build up for 2023. And I fully believe that this year is going to be really great.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Positive thoughts forward. Do you, when you have like, I'm just curious how people handle this sometimes. Like, do you set like goals on like a monthly, like daily, monthly, yearly basis at all? Or like, how do you think about things like that?
Some people do. Some people have a checklist. I would like to think that I am a spontaneous person, and that is a blessing and a curse,
Yeah.
Because I don't typically work off of a plan. Plans
Change.
don't interest me. I'd rather be like, yeah, I'm doing that. Let's go. So my goal is to make it to the top. What's the top? I don't really know, but I'm on my way.
keep
And
going.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah. My goal is really to be a public advocate for people, help change the world around me, and set up a road for success for my daughter. I believe that she is going to be bigger and better than I ever was or will be, and I'm trying to pave a way for her to see that as a woman, you have a voice and you can change the world on your own. And by on your own, I think that you do need to work off of a team aspect, and that's not what I mean, because you do need
Yeah, I'm
the
with
people
you.
around you. I more so mean, I'm not a feminist by any means, but you don't need
Yeah.
a man. You don't need that. You can do it.
You can achieve your goals.
Yeah, just
you
go
know.
get it, girl. And that's what I tell her all the time.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. She, first grade, and she comes home and she tells me that she has a crush on this boy. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then the following week, she's like, I don't like that boy anymore. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, he was mean to me and he didn't say hi today. And she's like, and I'm not putting up with that. And I was like, well, why not? She's like, because we are powerful and strong women and we do not put up with that. And I was like, go get it, girl. Like,
That's hilarious.
I want to be you when I grow up. So,
Yeah, you're right. Old soul there.
yeah. So
It's good though.
back to your original question for goals. I don't really know what my goal is. I want to help people live a better life everywhere, not just right here in Springfield, not just in Auburn where I live, everywhere. I want to make a difference.
No. And it's funny, man. I always say, things happen for a reason. I'm sure something else will present itself to keep moving you forward in that. It's kind of like you said, when you were a kid, you used to go door to door and help old people with different things. And now, you're
Yeah.
kind of doing that. You know what I mean? It comes back around and you weren't even expecting it.
I do. I think that everything happens for a reason, and I don't always have the answer for why. There's a lot of unfortunate things that happen. I've had a lot of obstacles happen in my life, really my whole life, but especially the last few years, I've had a lot of sticks thrown in what I'm trying to do, and I had to tell myself that it was okay to fall down, because I am nowhere near perfect and I never will be. I mess up, and it's okay to fall down as long as you get back up. And I think every time that I personally have fallen down, I stand up a little straighter. I've learned something through it, and I've also learned that when I'm going through a hard time and I am really struggling, I'm really sad, or I'm mad, or whatever it may be, there's a little part of me that's a little grateful, because I know that means that there's something so much bigger and better on the other side, and this is just the way through it.
Yeah.
So just a little tidbit out there for anybody that does feel like they're going through a hard time, or they don't think that they can see the next week or whatnot. It just means that you're about to level up. So just be sure to stand back up.
Are you a religious person? Random question.
I mean,
I'm not trying to get in depth. I'm just curious, because
Right.
it's good for, like, I'm not a religious person per se, but I do like believe in like a higher power, and also, you know what I mean? And I'll like pray. I'm not really praying to anybody, but I just like, I'm like, oh, I hope that person feels
Right.
better, or I hope they get through it. You know what I mean? I
Right.
keep them in my thought.
I mean, I'm not somebody who's going to preach at somebody. I believe there's a God, and I want my daughter to know that too. I want everybody to know that whatever it is that you believe in, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And there's days where
Well, people need something.
Exactly.
And that's why I like understand religion to an extent. Like people need something to believe in, and someone something to look forward to, and something to like help set that example, or get some general kind of, I guess, guidelines of life to, something to look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, just for example, this past Sunday, I was very stressed out. I really was. And it was not one thing. It was just a bunch of things. I had a lot of emotions, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do. And I think God knew that. And we had a beautiful day Sunday, and I drove myself to the lake, and I laid on that dock for 4 hours.
Nice.
I did nothing but lay there and look at the sky and look at nature around me and see everything that I believe that God provided right there. And when I left there, I felt at ease. I felt okay. Yeah. I felt like I was talking to somebody, and I believe it was God. But again, feeling like I'm not alone, and being able to go out there and sit in my own thoughts and have him to talk to and just see everything that he's done was a sense of comfort for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I know that was random, but it was just kind of like, talking about how being down, and, there is, light on the other side or whatever.
There
just
really
curious,
is.
Always curious people's perspective, or what they pray to or believe, you know what I mean, as far as what keeps them motivated, and when you're down about something. So
I mean, sometimes I'll think that, but more so I like to write, so I more so write my prayers and whatnot, and then I'll put them away. It helps me get those thoughts out, but I do believe that there's something else out there, and I hope, whether that be God or whatever else, I hope that everybody has one thing that they're able to think about that helps them not feel that I'm alone feeling, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you are truly alone.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
How about like from a creative hobby standpoint? Do you like, you say you write a little bit, do you like draw or paint or do anything?
I can make one mean stick figure. No, I don't draw. I like to write. I find comfort in that. And I like to share my life experiences, because like what you were saying with your moment of positivity with that lady, and you shared your story, I believe that you were given a life experience to be able to connect with somebody to help them through a hard time. And I believe that everything that I've been through is not just a lesson for me, but a connector piece to somebody else to help them get through a time that they're struggling with.
Yeah.
So I think that through writing, I can talk about it, and I can let people know that just because I smile and I laugh and I'm positive and happy, I have hard times too. I've had really hard things happen to me, and it's all about how you react to it. So through writing, I feel like I can provide not just myself with comfort, but somebody else who's going through a hard time, able to see the struggle and how to get through it.
What do you do with the writing then? You said to hopefully provide somebody else. Do you put that out somewhere? Or do
Sometimes. Sometimes I will.
Or maybe in the future?
You never know.
I was curious because you said, hopefully to help somebody down the road.
Yeah.
So, I'm just curious, like, where would they might see that that they might help them?
It just depends. Sometimes maybe I will see a meme, something small, a quote that really triggers something, and I'm like, you know what? I've felt this way, or I've been through this, and I feel like I've seen other people go through it too. And then maybe I'll put it out on my Facebook for others to read. Once upon a time, I went through a divorce, and it was very hard for me. and I wrote a letter to myself. I took 4 pictures of myself through my healing journey that was very difficult for me, and I wrote about it, and I put it out there on Facebook. And there was a lot of people that reached out to me, and in no way was I looking for pity or people to feel bad for me, because I was okay, and I'm okay. I really am. But I know some people that are still struggling through that, or they're currently struggling through it. So I was sharing it more so as here's what I did and here's what worked for me. So I took that and I put it out, and there were so many people that reached out to me and were like, thank you. Like, this saved me. This helped me. And that's what I want to do, whether that be through writing through a hard obstacle in my life, or something I do work, or with my daughter, whatever it may be. My goal is to ultimately help people live their best life. So Facebook, maybe. I had thought about starting to write things and eventually write a book.
Thought about like a blog or something?
I thought about that too, because I do enjoy it, and I think it does help people. And when I was real little, my grandparents always told me, you need to write. You need to write. And they had an author that lived down the way from them, and they took me down there to one of their parties. And I was real little, so I don't even really remember who it was. But they took me to introduce them to this author because they believed in what creativity I had, in the way that I choose my wording. And they just saw something in me that really at that point I didn't see in myself. So going back to everything happens for a reason, life does come full circle. Maybe writing something will help in some way. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You just never know.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably, I guess I got one more question for you. You're doing a lot of things. You got your job, you're at the chamber, you're helping with the RISE thing. You've done this professional clothing drive stuff. You got a daughter. Out of all that, what is the hardest part of all these things that you're doing and everything you have to do every day, all the responsibility that goes along with that? What is the hardest part that you have to deal with?
I think a struggle that I am working to get better at is I am a people pleaser with anxiety. And I like to make everybody happy. I want to be everybody's friend. But I have so much going on at the same time that sometimes I have anxiety, and sometimes I have hard times in putting face forward, because I would never want to put my struggles on somebody else. I would never want somebody else to feel what I'm feeling, that I remain happy and positive on this side, but on the inside, sometimes I struggle. So something that I'm working towards would just be, I'm a people pleaser with anxiety, and how do you deal with that? There's no right or wrong answer. It's just something that I'm working on.
Tell people no sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm a little busy right now.
Which I've done, over the last year, I've said no. I've took myself out of a few things.
I wish I could be involved. There's all kinds of stuff people ask me to do, or like never, you know what I mean? I'm just like, dude, I am so busy.
Right.
Like, between the kids and work and I am like.
Right.
It's
it
tough.
goes again back to you become who you surround yourself with. And for the most part, I have a wonderful circle. I've met some of the most amazing people that are helping me through all of this. But there's also been some people that I've let into my life that maybe don't have my best intentions at heart. And I've come to the realization of that. And it's all a work in progress, really. But just trying to keep moving forward with a smile on my face, but how to do it and keep balance.
All right. Taylor Stevens.
Thank you so much.
No, is there any do you want to give a shout out to like your work's website or anything at all before we go? People
Absolutely.
Check that out.
Synergy Home Care is my true passion. I think that home care is something that will continue to grow. And I fully believe in what we do and what we will continue to do. So go to our website at synergyhomecare.com. You can see everything about us on there. You can go to our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Synergy Home Care of Central Illinois. We share a lot of really great backstories, a lot of pictures of our staff, our caregivers, and what we do. And then feel free to ever stop into our office. Like I said, we're right next door to Corner Pub. Stop in, just say hi. I would love that. I love meeting new people. If I can help in any way, let me know. Or you can just give us a call if you have a loved one or yourself maybe needing a little extra care, no matter what it is. 217-303-8555. Again, I fully believe in Synergy and what our mission is, or else I wouldn't be here. So reach out. If there's anything we can do, let us know.
All right. And the next RISE event coming up.
March 15, Papa's, 8:30. I got this.
All right. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm
And,
glad everybody got to hear my life story today.
I don't think I got any announcements for the end of this. Check out the RISE thing. Synergy
Perfect.
Home Care. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.